To education now. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, and the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, have kicked against the inclusion of private universities and teaching hospitals in the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund. They were reacting at a public hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Tertiary Education and Services for two separate bills. One of the bills seeks to amend the TETFund Act and allow private universities benefits from the fund, while a similar bill also seeks to amend the Act and allow teaching hospitals also benefit from the fund. Some of the submissions were that private universities should be contributing to the TETFund because of the high fees they charge, and private universities that cannot fund themselves should have their licenses withdrawn. Let's quickly shift our gears now to Abuja with Ibrahim Adra standing by to take us through a couple of more stories. Ibrahim.
Many thanks indeed, Gimba. Now, the Director General of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Mrs. Julia Okadonli, has raised alarm over plans by some traffickers intending to hide under the guise of the Russia 2018 World Cup to traffic people. She, however, gave the assurance that the agency is collaborating with the Ministry of Sports and other government parastatals to check the trend. Mrs. Okadonli was speaking at a news conference in Abuja, where she revealed that part of their plan is to float unregistered football supporters club. After about 1 month break from project inspection across the state to allow for more time for tangible construction to take place, Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano has resumed unscheduled visits to project sites. The governor's first port of call is the 10.2-kilometer Miata-Anam to Nzam Road and Bridge, where he reaffirmed his commitment towards completing all projects started by his government.
Governor Willie Obiano is back on the field after 1 month of break. This time, he has paid an unscheduled visit to Miata and Nzam project site, where a 10.2-kilometer road with a bridge is under construction. Over 8-kilometer stretch of the road has been sand-filled, and piling work is currently ongoing on the bridge.
So if any flood comes like that, 2012 flood, our bridge is going to survive, and it's going to be higher than that flood, and it's going to be a rescue point for everybody.
The project is critical to the community as it links Miata and Nzam area, a major farming area, to other communities.
This bridge is a very important one. It's being built on this 10.2-kilometer road that we are doing to link Miata and Nzam. You know, this is the first time any road is going to this side of the country, and it's a very important agrarian community, and I will fund this project properly so that it can be completed in time.
Through a wide and beautiful road at Nteje still under construction, the inspection team moves to Nengo Bridge. Here, construction work is ongoing. Governor Obiano is pleased with what he has seen so far.
The assurance I'm having here is that before August, a sizable portion of this road would have been completed. As we speak, they filled over 8 kilometers of the road, remaining 1.2 kilometers to get to Nzam, you know, and beyond. So I'm happy to see Canopy working here.
Road rehabilitation and construction is top on the agenda for the Anambra State government. And Governor Willie Obiano is giving assurances that his administration will continue to release funds to contractors until all the projects are duly completed.
Well, that's all from this end. We'll rejoin Gimba in our Lagos studios for more stories, including the business news where Nigerian-French Business Summit is taking place. Gimba, it's back to you.
Thanks indeed. Nigeria and France are on the path to building a stronger, more mutual beneficial trade relationship. This was set in motion by the Nigerian Embassy in France at the maiden edition of the Nigerian Creative Arts Exchange in Paris. The two-day event had key members of the Nigeria and France business community in attendance, where Nigeria had the opportunity to market its rich potentials to the world.
In this hall are key members of the Nigeria and French business community coming together to explore ways on how to foster a mutually beneficial trade relationship. The Nigerian Embassy in France has put together the maiden edition of the Nigerian Creative Artists Change right in the French capital, Paris, for the business initiative tagged Invest in Nigeria, a platform to send Nigeria to the world and all the opportunities that abound. Participants are looking to explore opportunities in key areas like infrastructural development, solid minerals, oil and gas, manufacturing, fashion, and entertainment.
France was one of the top 10 countries for Nigeria of strategic importance for investment promotion purposes. This means that going forward, we will work more closely with the Nigerian Embassy in France and with the French Embassy in Nigeria to see how we can improve trade and investment flows between Nigeria and France.
The aim of this visit by the members of the French Parliament is to encourage economic and cultural exchange between Nigeria and France.
This event was also an opportunity to showcase some of the products produced in Nigeria.
It's a way of diversifying our economy, the revenues of our economy, by also building up the small and medium-scale industries.
The only thing that they are able to in the Western world to tell our story right is when it comes to creativity, our music, our dance, our arts, our film, our culture. So the idea was to bring our culture, which they already love, into Paris, which they asked for, and our food.
People are always expecting the creative industries to generate funds themselves. No, it is what they attract. It is what they attract that then generates the funds.
From the interactions here, it's clear that there are boundless opportunities to explore between both countries. And for Nigeria, it's also an opportunity to show the amazing innovations that abound in the country. Ogechukwu also reporting for Channels Television News.
Let's move on to business news on the news at 10 with Ann Waudo.
You First. First Bank.
Thank you, Gimba, and welcome to Business News. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, is promising stiff penalties for commercial banks that fail to comply with directives on the sale of foreign exchange to Nigerians. While assessing some banks in Abuja, Mr. Emefiele promised constant monitoring of activities of the banks to help ensure prompt supply of personal and business travel allowances to customers. Top Nigerian lender Fidelity Bank is maintaining a disciplined balance sheet to deliver stronger returns to investors this year. The bank made this commitment at its annual meeting for the 2017 calendar year, which of course saw approval of its financial statements by shareholders.
Fidelity Bank in its 2017 financial calendar delivered a set of strong results, posting 94% growth in profits. Here to fulfill its annual meeting obligation, shareholders have the financials to approve following the lender's return to the international capital markets, issuing $400 million Eurobond that was also oversubscribed by 200%. A more significant milestone is the state of the bank's non-performing loans, now around 6%.
And if you look at the industry generally, in the last year financials, you see that a lot of banks increased their NPL, who were lucky to be recorded a marginal decrease.
The session goes on with shareholders approving the audited financial statement.
Will all those in favor of this resolution please signify by raising the admission cards? I hereby declare the resolution carried.
And they have paid us a dividend of 11 kobo I commend them for that. And if you look at their gross earnings, also have increased. And in terms of welfare culture, you see what they are doing in IDPs.
Given all the challenges in the economy, we are very, very hopeful to sustain the performance of 2017 in 2018. So we hope that we will not let our shareholders down.
Fidelity Bank has won accolades as a corporate and investment bank and looks to sustain this status.
We are very involved, even as non-executive directors, in the crafting of the broad strategy and support management towards its execution.
We'll continue to improve our systems and processes so that the more we improve on services, the more we expect that patronage will be higher and then the earnings will improve as well.
Also ranked as the 4th best lender in retail banking, the bank is poised for the topmost position as it increases digitization beyond 25% of its fee-based income this year.
Investors' appetite for stocks at the local equities market weakened further as the market enters the final trading week in the month of May. For details of today's transactions, let's join Chimezie Obiwago.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The equities market continues on a downward trend with the all-share index closing down this first trading day of a new week. The index dropped by 0.75%, still below the 40,000 mark. Several factors have been adduced for the sustained bearish state of the market, but economic uncertainty, which has seen foreign investors exit the market, remains a major factor. All the sectors were in the negative, with the industrial leading the pack, that even the ₦1 gain by Dangote Cement did not have much impact. The banking sector, which accounts for a significant portion of market activities, followed with major sell down on the stocks, particularly the Tier 1 banks. The value traded was a paltry 1.6 billion naira for about 222 million shares traded in 4,461 deals. Analysts say the present state of the equities market may look discouraging, but the strengthening macroeconomic fundamentals remain supportive of potential gains for patient investors. And that was the Stock Market Report. I'm Chimezie Obiwago.
Thanks a lot, Chimezie. Major global stock markets have also ended today's trading mostly in the red as investors monitor latest development between the US and North Korea, as well as renewed political turmoil in Italy. Let's see the closing figures for today. And that's business news for tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Wawado. It's back to you, Gimba.
You first. First Bank.
Still ahead on the news at 10. DR Congo Simba forced Super Eagles of Nigeria to a 1-1 draw in an international friendly played in Port Harcourt, River State. That's on Sports News. Join us again.